Right, so today we are going to go through the backtesting of a couple of weeks ago on EU using the FTR method, which is essentially targeting supply and demand zones, which is just zone to zone. Okay, the market tends to move zone to zone. It follows supply and demand, it follows liquidity, and it just follows that flow. So I'm just going to do everything which fits the strategy. It's been able to be refined a little bit cleaner, I guess, compared to my last backtesting videos, which were probably about a year ago, but I felt in the mood this weekend to create a video. If you like it, literally give it a thumbs up and comment or whatever, and let me know to make more. Because if they're useful, great, I'll make more. And I could probably do them on a weekly basis, to be fair. And if you want a different currency pair, like I use EU most of the time, if you want a different currency pair, let me know and I'll do one on that. But first of all, for anybody who's new, let's just go through the rules. Like, there are quite a few rules, but generally speaking, let's look at targets, all right? So targets, target is going to be HTF POI or a high or low. All right, so generally speaking, you want to try to get involved in a higher time frame point of interest. So what I mean by that is, let's just say that we've marked out an order block on the H4. We would want to take our entry on the M15 using CHOC if we can, just to try and give us that little bit more confidence that the market's going to continue in the direction which we want it to, or we're going to take an entry off the H4 itself, off the 0.5, or if there's actually an order block on the M15, we can use that. So, the next target is typically going to be the next H4. Now, the caveat to that is if there's a very clear swing point on the M15 on the way up. So if the market did something like that, you might want to take your profit literally just at this point, just to be safe. Now, I always say just be safe in the market, get the risk reward ratio that you need. So the minimum, so minimum RR is 4, okay? So 1 to 4 basically. And then entries is essentially CHOC. Or M15 OB, all right? So it's the same strategy as before. I've just been able to refine the rules a little bit better. There's also going to be additional things. So targets, points of interest, all right? So POIs to look out for are going to be things like supply and demand zones, so SD. It's going to be rebalances, and it will be OBs, all right? So order blocks. So points of interest, so things when I draw stuff out like this, like the boxes, unless it's labeled, unless we say, right, that's an order block, which is usually, you can set your entry off of it, great. Additionally, entries, for the M15, we enter off the 0.25, all right? I'll show you on there in a second. And then off the H4 or above or anything else, H4 and above, we enter off the 0.5, all right? And these are not just plucked out the sky, they are essentially mapped out through, oh God, thousands of trades. So off the M15, the median would come in about 28%, all right? So the median drawdown was 28%. So 0.25 kind of made sense. Also, there was a bit of a discovery which I made just very randomly when you're just using a Gann chart or a Fibonacci, but price tends to react off of these 25% zones really quite well. So 50%, 75%, back to 50%, and so on and so forth. Like, it just does, and I'm not sure why, but it just does. So, there's a few of the rules. There'll be others as we go along, more sort of like intricacies, but let's just get into the action. First of all, what we need to do is we need to mark out our key zones, okay? Key areas which we're looking at in the market. So the first one is probably one which we're involved in already, which is this inside bar right here. Yes, it's been mitigated already. It's still a point of interest until we've broken through it, which we hadn't. But that's just a daily zone. So ideally, we just want to find the next one above and the next one below, because price is going to gravitate towards it. Another rule, which I guess I didn't, put into this bit, is more sort of like a knowledge thing. So it's not really a rule, but the time frame which you're looking at. So for example, right now we're looking at the daily. The daily does not respect timeframes below the daily. It respects the daily and timeframes above. which is why when we take our entries on a lower time frame, we're respecting that time frame and the time frame above, but nothing below. All right, and that will make sense as soon as we can get some trades on the board. So, you know, there's three. You know, if we break out of here, preferably it needs to be with a body. Then we can look for a pullback, probably to this one, and then go up to here. So, or, you know, price will just pull back from here, get involved with this straight away, and then we can target this one. So, you know, as simple as that. It's just grabbing liquidity. That's all what the market does. It grabs liquidity from these zones, goes on to the other ones, and so on and so forth. It's really quite simple. Once it clicks in your head, it just makes sense. All right, so I'm going to drop down to the H4 now and just do the same. Essentially, is there anything that we can see? Oh, by the way, so I'll just mark out on here, just anchor text at the moment. So daily equals up. All right, so daily trend is going up. Let's just mark out our boss and chock. So we got chock right there, boss, so daily boss was there, which means that the daily is going up. So where is it? Daily boss, and then we got daily chock right there. All right, so daily is up. Daily is in an uptrend, all right? So just bear that in mind. H4, let's find out the same with that one. All right, so H4 is definitely working its way up. What was the most significant thing? Got the break there, chock there. So we've also got the H4. So I'm just going to use this one because it'll be a bit easier. But that is H4 chock, and H4 boss at the moment is up here. H4 boss. All right, so really we're looking for a pullback in the market to continue, because we know that there's, you know, if you've watched one of my other videos, I'll give you the stats on this, but we've got about a 2/3 chance that the market's going to continue getting boss after boss, you know, rather than chock after chock, etc. So we're expecting that the market's going to continue up, but it needs to pull back to grab liquidity from somewhere, and it usually grabs liquidity from things like this. So look at this. This was the daily boss line. Price came back down to it, tapped the daily boss line, and continued up. So this one's been used up. We've now got an H4 there and H4 there. So let's just mark out this one. So let's just call that an H4 rebalance. Really, it's the one below it. It's this one. So we got those two zones there. Pretty much. We've got this stuff going on, which is just, in my eyes, it's curve liquidity. There's nothing great there. That's been rebalanced. That should run through. We've got imbalance there. We've actually got an order block on the H4 below. So we're refining this daily, which is good. Not by much, but we have refined it to an H4 POI now. And it's got imbalance. So I'm expecting at some point price to come down to here and then work our way up probably to this one. All right, so there's nothing really left below. Could say this, but it's not great. Watch my other videos, you'll figure out why, but it's not superb. Basically, we've got, it's not an apex. Over here, so yeah, right now, there's nothing that we're on. We did have, I'll tell you what, I need to mark this out, but we had this one, which I know would have caught a lot of people out in the market. So H4 POI, we've broken through it now anyway. We're kind of on the wick of this. So that's an H4. Really, it's just got to be that. Above, we've got a H4 rebalance right here. Not, oh, sorry. So not that great. Not classing this as an AB because it's useless. And then this is a bit tricky because it's outside of, like, it's still part of it, but it's kind of, it's outside of this this daily zone. All right, so, and this supply candle didn't actually sweep the candle next to it. So not particularly solid, but I would expect price might sort of react from up here. So there's the next H4 anyway. We're on the current H4 and the H4 below us is down by the daily. So, you know, nothing nothing so much different from the daily, all right? We're looking at going down or going up. We could get reaction points off a daily rebalance. We could get a reaction point off the H4 rebalance. We could get a reaction off the H4 rebalance there, particularly on the 15-minute, all right? And ideally, when we're breaking out of a zone, we want to get a body break if we can. So, well, that's a lot of waffle for the first, for the setup for the daily and the H4. Let's look at where we can really get involved. So, daily, sorry, H4 is also up as well. So H4 equals up. I think, yeah, H4 is up. So daily is there. You know what? Annoyingly, that's a daily rebalance too. We're going to have to put it as daily rebalances rather than H4s, and that isn't a rebalance. Right, okay, got that one wrong. It's this one. Okay. Righto. Cool. H4, M15, let's go. Now, just for transparency, I took a trade off of this in real life. I remember this. And my reasons behind this was we were in the daily, we'd got past the halfway point, which was part of our rules, which, we wrote, just go back to the start of the video. We got past the halfway point. We'd also just gone past this H4 here. I think we just wicked it. We pulled back in. Problem is that it was just liquidity at the end of the day on Friday. Now the Friday, even though on this Friday we didn't actually close with an inside bar, it's always much smaller than the previous candle. Because my theory behind that is just a theory, but all the traders who are going, for example, in this instance, going long in their New York session or in the London session at the start of the day or middle of the day, they're closing their trades before the weekend. So they're just clearing off based against the retail orders. So this last candle is going to be a lot smaller. It's just a sell-off before the weekend. So my mistake was mistaking this little grab for liquidity as a perfect pin bar, because I used to trade pin bars all the time. So, it was a perfect kind of like old strategy entry. Like I used to use it for the London breakout, but I'm still trying to unlearn bits and pieces that I've taught myself, because the way which I trade now is an evolution of the London breakout. So, I still make mistakes like everybody else really, but we've got a 15-minute chock down here. I'll tell you what, let's just use this as well. So you've got a 15-minute chock down there. Where is it? And 15 bosses up here as well. So we can't do anything really until we get a break either way. There we go. So we've now got our chock line moving up here. We got the 15 boss right there, which is cool. So let's just mark that on there. Right, so 15 boss. I'm just going to check the time. 10. Let's go back one candle so I can reveal the H4, how it's looking. All right, so we've also had an H4 breaker structure. So we get to move that one there, and also, oops. Oh, what's going on? My bad. Did I put one down there? Yeah, I did. So the H4 chock. Oh my days. There it is. H4 chock is also there. So if we get a breakdown, we can start looking for shorts on the H4, but really we're looking at targets of the daily rebalance as a short-term bounce probably, or we've got the actual order blocks down here which have clear imbalance. It's just an incentive to come down to it, much like this, but you've got the rebalance of the daily pretty much halfway on this imbalance, so a good sort of potential reversing zone if we get the strategy right, so or the time frame right. Let's click on through. Bit boring, isn't it? Right. So we got a body break on the M15 Monday evening. No trades on Monday apart from the one that I lost. I know that I did that in real life. Entered early in the morning, yeah, about 6. Knocked out by 8. So depressing start to the week, especially as it was a mistake. Now we can look at this. What time is it? Go forward a few more. 930. Let's look at the H4, see how it's looking. All right, solid. Okay, so H4 now shifts around. Let's just move that out of the way. We now move our chock and boss the different sides. So H4 boss is down there, H4 chock is up there. We're now H4 down. All right, so ideally we want to be taking M15s from a discount zone if we can get it discount. We'll look for M15s on here. You know, anything above this red line, M15, try and get short from here. So let's drop down to the M15. Is there anything? Well, there's the EQ trade, which doesn't look fantastic. I won't lie, this looks weak as hell. The reason for that is that this supply candle hasn't swept anything. It also hasn't mitigated anything. It's quite weak. Then we got that inside bar itself, which again, there's no sweeping of anything. This has rebalanced that. Not a good area, to be honest with you. Point of interest more than anything, this one. Not an order block. I wouldn't set a pending order. Looks a bit risky. There is imbalance below, but there's a load of crap above it as well, so not superb. But we're now looking for shorts, which is cool. And targets are going to be, initial target probably here. Where's it all rebalanced on the M15? Oh, we still got this to get through as well. So it's not much. It's just a swing area. And the reason why I've highlighted it is that, everyone else is looking at it. I just want like standard POI. Oh, let's just put it as a mitigation. I'm going to call it a POI. So it's just a POI, and then there's a rebalance on the M15 down there as well. So M15 POI, right? Okay, cool. Let's click through. Oh, I hope you guys can't hear the vibrations on my watch. It's going off constantly. It's doing my head in. It's distracting me more than anything. Right, we're looking for shorts. So M50, okay, let me just explain this. For you to be able to try to maximize the market, what you're doing is you're identifying areas of boss and chock. It's as easy as that. You want to be going in the same direction of the market on the higher time frames. Okay, so we try to enter on the M15 or below, preferably just the M15. So with that, we'd need to break of here, pull back up, get into this. Break down, pull back, get into the next break, and so on and so forth. So this isn't chock yet. Chock is officially, because we only got the chock over here, didn't we? Or did we? Yep, so chock was there. Right, so we haven't actually got a good place to put the M15 chock because it's way up at the top still. So we need something to happen before we can start oh, right, there we go. So just so I say it, there's M15 chock. If we want to start getting short, we can start marking out order blocks. There's no imbalance here. Oh, there is there, but it's not very strong. And the reason why it's not strong, in case you're wondering, is yes, it's an inside bar, but there's no mitigations. There's nothing solid in there, okay? Like nothing solid. And also, look, when we broke it initially, it was a pullback. So a break and a pullback. This is broken and pulled back. It's not looking great. I want to see more from the market first. Just so I say it. Right, looking better. Yeah, looking much better. So looking stronger again. So this can continue. Oh, this can continue down now. And technically, yeah, there is an apex here. So we've now got our 15 boss line there. But we don't really care about what this is doing because we don't really want to be getting long on the M15 because we haven't reached a key point of interest, which was this one. Yeah, this was a point of interest. Right there. I want to go back and say that this is as well. I did initially, didn't I? I am tempted to say that. I'm going to re-put this one back on because it was significant at the time on the daily. So I'm just going to put that as a daily. It's not a daily rebalance, but it was significant on the daily before. Anyway, I'll put that on. So yeah, anyway, let's continue going. Yeah, see, on this, just want to point out, it was only wick breaks. Wick breaks just indicate weakness. So we have now officially broken down again, down here, and so on and so forth. But I'm just going to move these out of the way because we don't actually need them. we could argue, sorry, we could argue that there's an order block here. Oops. So there, I'll actually just say to the top of that black candle, I'd probably want to say just get the wick in, because this went up and it kind of did this rebalance on the M15. So rebalances are really quite strong. So this, it's not great, probably just the wick of that black candle, the big black candle there. It's probably better because we have got boss on the M15. We're still looking to short the market at the end of the day and short it probably down to here. So was that the PRY we're after? Oh, minimum, like minimum. Yeah, you know what? Let's draw it on anyway, just in case. So, and I'll put the actual things on properly in a minute if we get to it, which looks like probably will. More tempted by the wick, but we'll just do this. This is the EQ of that mini leg. And when I say leg, go from the top of that range to the bottom of this range. That's right in the middle. The EQ is the red line. Yeah. All right, cool. We're fine. Right, great. Oh my, wow. Yeah, what did I just say? Cover the wick, make it the wick. Whatever. Okay, -1. All right, great start. First backtesting session in a year, and straight into a loss. Oh, something which I don't know if I was doing in the last videos is that I now give it a 0.5 pip buffer space, because on things like FTMO and my Forex funds and stuff like that, their spreads are usually between sort of like 3 and 5 pips. Sorry, 0.3 and 0.5. So you just want to account for those. Otherwise, your risk reward ratio is going to be, you're going to be battered out the market a lot. So just give it a little bit of space, 0.5 pips, just to be on the safe side. When you're using a personal broker, like my personal broker, 0 spread, so you know, I don't care for it. At most, you know, worst case scenario, it's like 0.2, maybe twice a day. But no, it's not anything major, you know. So anyway, we're working our way down to this first bit. I'll tell you what, let's use a little X just to make it clearer for me, because I remember having issues counting these up because there were loads. And let's just keep on going, because we're never going to get through the week at this point. Right, another breaker structure. Oh, we've left, I'll tell you what, right there, left behind a good order block. Let me just get rid of that. I'm going to tidy this up a little bit. Left behind a nice order block right here. I'll explain this one to you now. Let's get that as an M15 POI. There's imbalance below. There was an attempted push up, a rebalance of this area, like a sort of mitigation of this last overall push up. Yeah, pretty solid. And we got the breaker structure from it as well. And the break was with a body and a very small wick. So pretty solid. If we can come back up to it, superb. Happily go short from there. Let's keep on going. Oh, looks like we're going back up to it anyway. Nope, we're not. Oh, it's left behind another one. Sorry, I've put this in the wrong place. Bear with me. I don't like it. Okay, it's been rebalanced. I don't like it. Also, the break was with a wick, so whatever. I'll explain that quickly, just for anybody who wants to know. Looks solid, pretty good order block. Yes, we got a sweep as well on that last candle, which is cool, but we rebalanced immediately. Pretty much rebalanced. Yes, there's a little bit of a space, but call that a rebalance if you want. It's probably, you know, fraction of a pip. Also, the break of structure broke and recoiled back in. Doesn't give you the best indication. Plus this next candle, much smaller. So, you know, is the market going to zigzag and then pull back up? I don't want to be involved in this one. I want this one. So, you know, H4 is working its way down at the moment. And we haven't got, well, we did have, but we haven't got any good areas. Maybe, like, that looks weak. A bit of probably trader experience on this one, just looks rubbish. And all of this is curve liquidity, something which I explained a little bit more in FTR. So links in the description for that. But it's just a made up concept that I made, but it works almost every time. We've bounced off of something there, and then we're torn straight through something else. So what did we bounce off initially? Was that the one which I wasn't sure about? Yeah, see, okay. So that's good to know. All right, so that's the one which I wasn't sure about. It wasn't actually significant because it wasn't the technical rebalance, but other people were looking at it, okay? And that was reflected by our little kiss of it right here. Like literally, where is it? Right here, literally reflected by that little tiny tap. So that's good to know, all right? But we did bounce off it. So that's cool, glad that I had that on the chart. And then we are working our way down to this one, which was the, I think this was actually the daily, yeah, the daily and the H4. All right, so daily and H4, that's cool. Let's keep on going. Right, inside bar, it looks like. All right, that's cool. Working our way back up now. Tried to sort of like rebalance again. Normally get a reaction off of something like this. So daily rebalance, that was probably the reaction to be fair. Wick break and decent bullish pin bar, kind of. I don't know what this type of candle is called. A hammer? A shooting star? I don't know. Don't know what they're all called, but breaker structure with a wick clearly rejected the area. This was the line which we were looking at as our key point of interest. We haven't quite reached the 15 yet though, so good indication basically that we might be looking to go up. I just want to check the H4 though, so I'm just going to go back a tiny bit so I don't reveal anything. So how is the H4 looking? We got yeah, we got chock there on the H4. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, so we've already marked it up. I didn't carry, sorry, what am I doing? Let me just let me get rid of that. I didn't move this down as we were going along. During the live trading, you've got plenty of time to do it, but when you're doing back testing, it can get a bit confusing to grab hold of everything all the time and keep track of the time down here. But yeah, we're pressing down. We bounced off of this, no doubt about it. Probably just press down further now, but we'll just do what we're told. So click on through. Was that the, yeah, that was that nice move which I said about a second ago. Technically, we've got chock here on the 15, so we could be looking at longs, but because we're respecting the H4 and H4 is still going down, this is still technically in play. So the way that you can do this, now this does catch a lot of people out in FTR when they first join, is that technically we've got our M15 boss line here, all right? So if price comes up and breaks through with a body, we are technically bullish with the M15, okay? So we could try to come down to an order block like down here and then work our way up to probably just this one and then continue the journey down possibly, okay? But really, you'd want to take your profit right there at the rebalance, okay? Because technically this would be a counter trend trade going down on the M15. But we don't necessarily just trade the M15, we're trading the H4 and the H4 is headed down. So the entry off of this one, if price does come into it, ideally it's to come off the 0.25 and it's going to come down and break this low here. And, you know, as a second target, we want it to be the next, you know, the next time frame. So whichever comes first, so the daily time frame right there. So quite a distance on this one if we could, or you just take the profits at the nearest swing, which, you know, is no shame in doing because that looks like quite a juicy trade. So let's keep going anyway. All right, so we've got, okay, so we got a break with a wick, didn't look great, a break with a wick and it was okay, and then a break with a body, again, not fantastic news. It doesn't look like it's got particular strength going up. Otherwise it would be leaving gaps behind, wouldn't it? It would be leaving imbalances right there like that, see? So when you're going counter trend, it rebalances. When you're going pro trend, it leaves imbalances like this. So at the moment, going pro trend, let's see what we can do. Going back again. I'll just draw it on if it's required. Okay, I will draw it on, win or lose. Oh, slowing down for dramatic effect. No, I get like nervous even on these back tests for some reason. I'm just going to say, some people will probably say, why didn't you get another order off of there? You know, old me probably would, but there is no chock. You know, there's no chock off it. Break a structure, break a structure. Chock is down here on the 15 minute now. So chock's there on the 15 minute. We're trying to go short. We haven't had a structural break to tell me that we are guaranteed to go short from here. Although we do have a mitigation of this, which looks really nice. So let's just draw this on the chart anyway. So and we'll give it the 0.5 pip buffer space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now our target is break of the swing, isn't it? So 9.19, not too bad. Call it 9R if it comes in. Looking good. Oh, that's nice. Hey, and there's a take profit. Yeah, we'll tally it up at the end, but I'll just put a little tick. Alrighty, so we got a loss and a win. So 1 loss, 1 win. All right, not too bad at the moment. We got a break of structure down there. Price pulling back temporarily. Let's see how we do. Oh, I'll tell you what, because that's ages ago. That's like 12 hours ago. We're gonna have another H4 now. So go back 1 candle, click forward too far. Let's look at what the H4 is doing. We can now move this. There's our H4 chock. It's now right there. H4 boss is now technically here. And we got H4 boss with a wick break and then it recoiled. Okay, good to know. So when you get boss with a wick, I can't remember what the odds are, but it's about 50% that continues. So 50-50. If we get the right kind of candlestick patterns, we can decide what we're going to do. But really, we should be looking down here. But we are playing off a POI. And the POI doesn't have to be a rectangle. POI can actually be liquidity. Yeah. So rebalance lines. So, you know, we are playing off a POI, even though it's not a big rectangle. All right. So, yeah, let's keep going. Oh, hello. Did we get, technically we've got chock here. Move this out of the way. Yeah, we got chock there. Okay, so we got M15 chock right here. And I would like to say that there is an order block right there. So yeah, I'd probably say right off of this. Is that? Yeah, that is chock, isn't it? But if we do go long off of this, because let me just double check this. All right, sorry, I do this on almost every backtesting video. Go and double check. So H4. Oh yeah, we're in 50-50 zone. So if we can get a long, we'll get a long. If we'll get a short, we'll get a short. But if we're looking to get a long, ideally we only want to be targeting the next H4 because it's technically counter trend H4, even though it would be pro trend M15. So I'm going for the inside bar. You know, that would be, no, that's not technically rebalance. That is, it'd be the rebalance of this candle. That candle there, that's that H4. So it might be rubbish. Yeah, it's not very far, is it? And I could do it. I'll draw it on if it comes in. Looks like it might be a 1 to 4, so it's a possibility. Oh man. Alright, I said that I'd draw it on. Technically it's following the rules, so it's gonna have to go on. But we are at a 50-50 zone, so you know, there's no... The thing is, like, I like to try and get winners, especially when it's, you know, on here, but you can't like fake the strategy. Like the strategy has to work or you're trading a load of bullshit. So, you know, luckily the strategy does work. But it's me who gets things wrong. 3 3.5 hour, not particularly good enough. I would need a deeper entry off the 0.5, so might even miss it. If we miss it, it doesn't matter because it doesn't fit the plan. If we get it and it comes off, happy days. And I think I wrote in the rules. I don't know if I wrote in the rules, you know, right at the very start. But essentially, if you don't get your 4R, you can shrink it down. Because if you miss the entry, it doesn't matter because you wouldn't have taken it on less than 4R. So you're just trying to increase your chances. All right, so the deeper you go, by the way, for your stop loss or your entry, the deeper you go for your entry, the less chance it is that it's actually going to get hit. So, and there's other ways to take the trade to reduce your losses, which I try to do by being sat at the chart. More on that in the future. I guess I'll do like an entries video at some point, but I get a lot less losses now than when I used to, where I can sit at the chart sometimes. So we're in, not looking good, looking better. And it's kind of left, it's left behind like a little bit, not brilliant, but another potential order block. We've only got a wick break here, so not looking too positive. Looking all right, there's a win. I'm surprised at that. Okay, I'm quite surprised. Okay, so we got a win, so that's cool. Wasn't expecting it to work. Let me move that other way. We've kind of got this. Let me clear this up. What we do kind of have now, this order block. Maybe covered a, nah, don't worry about it. This order block right here. So there's another trade, just while I'm looking at it. Right here, give it 0.5. And depends what we do with this H4. All right, so let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've cleared this H4. We can get rid of this now. Cool. Okay. I'll tell you what. I think I took a trade off. I took a trade off of this. I think I got a loss here. I think I took a loss because M15 is going up. There's your H4. What time is it? 3:45. Got another sort of like little bit to go, but H4 is still technically currently down. We're in the 50-50 bit. Huh? Oh no, we'd already taken that trade. All right, so yeah, okay. I can't remember what I was saying. $5.45. Okay, I'm gonna check the H4 now. H4 is a break. Okay, so this moves. H4 trot goes down there. H4 boss goes up here. And H4 order block right there. All right, sound. So all what we're looking for now is a pullback on the H4 if we can get it. Tap into preferably our order block, which we've just found, and then work our way up. So our target would be the next H4, which is like, I want to say this, like that. It might not be. I think it's actually going to have to be that that doji. So H4 being doji right there. I'll call that the H4. So pull into here, break into here as like a first kind of, first target is going to be a break at the high. Next one's going to be the next supply zone. And then beyond that, it's a break at the daily. Beyond that, it's going to the next sort of POI, which is miles away. But always watch it. Watch what happens when it rebalances on a higher time frame. So that's an H4 rebalance. So always watch what happens on the lower time frames in there if you can, because you can get really decent entry setups sometimes. But we're now waiting for price to pull back for us to get involved. Right, I hope that makes sense. Let's keep going. Well, it's not breaking up, is it? Bit rubbish. All right, coming down a little bit. Yeah, I think I took a loss on that. I think I just set a pending order right there. I think it would be a continuation trade, but oh. We continue up anyway. So H4 PLI still. Could say there's a possible trade to go long off of here. It's a possibility. No, there we go. Oh man. Have we just been wiped out? What was this about? There's going to be some red news event happening there, isn't it? Great. Are we out? Nope. Because we've given it that buffer, see? Right, well, it's not going to matter in a second, is it? There we go. Yeah, so we're knocked out. All right, so we lost that one. Fair enough. Wasn't the best. It had, it been rebalanced pretty much. And following that, there's your warning shot. Price runs towards wicks. And what's happened here? Looks like there's a bit of action. So that was the H4. Just realised we broke the H4 up there as well. Okay, let me go back. But basically, got an order block forming right here, which looks all right. So I need to go back basically and see what happened on the H4. Sorry, I kind of missed it there. Yeah. So wick break doesn't look positive. Look at that. Next H4 is actually now not that one. Oh, right. Okay. I'm going to have to explain this, okay? Because this will confuse everybody. So I'm going to try to make sense of it. This H4 was valid while we were going down, okay? We have now technically chalked up. I think the next candle we did chalk down again with a wick, but if we go up again, this will be the chalk line, which means that this will now be a counter trend trade because we'll be looking to go long once we get a break of this. But if we continue going down, this will still be a counter trend trade because we still need to get a break of chalk. So a little bit messy. That's less important now, but there is very clearly a new H4 right here. So if we can get into any longs again on the M15, first initial target is the rebalance of the H4. All right, so right there. So the rebalance of the time frame above. Go down to the M15. Where were we? There. Was that the candle? Did I just say about that candle? I swear that was the order block I was just thinking of. But it's ended up being a horrible downward candle. Let's see what happens anyway. Oh, okay, right, convincing. So M15 boss was there, followed by another one, only an inside bar. Revert to the structure, which is there. Chock is down here. So M15 chock is this one down here. M15 boss is up there. So technically we have an order block. Hardly, it's an opposite candle. It's a demand zone. So not solid, but good for continuation trades right there. So you could look to get long off of this and go up to here if you wanted. But it's not solid enough for me. We practically rebalanced immediately. So I'll just leave it. There we go. Looks like it's going to be a disaster. All right, whatever. Oh, there we go. Proving me. Great. All right, I'd be sulking in real life if I tried to take that. Or if I was thinking of taking it and didn't. Great. Oh, and it even came down for this one. Oh my god, even if you just did the 15-minute structure, you'd have got another trade right here off of this one. Okay. Whoa. Right, interesting. Oh, and I did take a trade here. Where did I take the trade? It was somewhere around here. I took a trade which was just a continuation trade. It might be one of these on the Friday. No, because I closed out at the end of the day. I was only in it for a couple of hours, and it was about 1.5 hours because, you know, I got a loss. I think I got 2 losses, so I just tried to reset the balance, start fresh. I have a feeling would have been that about 6 o'clock. I think my trade, which I took, it was only just a quick in and out, and it was a manual close as well because I wanted to get out before the end of the day. Something like that. It wasn't fantastic. Yeah, and there's the weekend. So I think it wasn't a brilliant trade that I took. Might be in that. Yeah, 1 hour, something like that. It wasn't brilliant. But we'll take that off because it's not technically part of the zone to zone strategy. So let's just tally this up. That was quite a quick week. No, it wasn't. It was 45 minutes. Hopefully, you know, as the videos go along, I'll get clearer while I'm talking to you about how the strategy works and stuff. So I hope that this made sense. And if anything is missing out of, you know, if there's a knowledge gap, just stick it in the comments and I will answer you. You know, you've got 2 losses and 2 wins, so that's not too bad. 50% win rate, which is all right. You know, it's better than what I actually did that week. I got 2 losses and a win, and ended up just slightly minus on my account. But it just goes to show that you need to be paying attention to the markets, because that was 9R, you know, take off comms, it's 9, take off comms on that, it's practically 5.5, isn't it? So 9, 5.5, just combine those two, 9, 5.5, 14.5, 13, no, 9 and 5.5 is 14, 13, 12 and a half. 12.5 R, okay? 12.5 R. Right. Oh, and how did I not spot that? All right, didn't realise that. Oh, it's because I dragged that out of the way, isn't it? Possibly. We did pretty much go to the next zone. So there was a POI down here, came down, went up, rebalanced to this area. That's mad, can't believe I didn't spot that. So yeah, we pretty much, yeah, there's a gap obviously, but it's fractional, like you don't have to worry about it. So that's rebalanced this. So this stuff in here now shouldn't work. All right, so old news, get rid of that now. It's not important, this area should be run. And we've left the end of the week with probably an order block right there, ready for next week. So yeah, if you guys like that, let me know, and you know, just subscribe. I'll make a playlist for these so you can binge watch them if you want. But if you like it, let me know, because I haven't done one for like a year. I'll get faster at doing them as well, but it's actually been quite fun. Happy days. Catch you all in a bit.